Tanya Kirkpatrick. She's a 14-star platinum. She's one of the top 3 income earners. I mean, some weeks she's number 1. And the reason that happens is even though she's only 14-star and some of the other guys are 19 and 20-star, they have platinum pools out there which huge amounts of money can be made when you're achieving growth. And so she's been achieving growth, phenomenal growth. And she just put this this video out where she was interviewed by Warren Lance. And it's just absolutely fantastic. But when I first saw it, I thought, oh man, that is the closest teaching I've seen to what we got on Team FSI. Different ways in which to build a business. There's no doubt about that. Right? And this is one of the things we teach. There are different ways to do it. And, we've got a certain, technique, a certain procedure that, we've adopted that I'm more than comfortable with, believe in 100%, seen it work before. And it's just fantastic. And then to pick up on this video of Tanya's and to realise that what she is doing is by far the closest of any of the speakers, any of the leaders in isogenics to what we've got there. I mean, we've got a mixture of, Jay Bennett, who's in our upline, Jimmy Smith, right, Herb Zapata, Kathy Coover, and now Tanya Kirkpatrick. And I put this video up, the complete video up, and a couple of different spots on Team FSI, so it's easy to find because really it's just fantastic. And what I've done, I've spent a fair bit of time, a lot of time today, going through dividing this thing up because the problem is she talks so fast and she covers so many bits all at once, and I just want to be able to pause after each point that she's made really and let it sink in because really it is absolutely fantastic.
Well, good evening, everyone. My name's Warren Lance, and I want to welcome you. And this evening, you're in for an absolute treat. We have an amazing, amazing woman who's actually, between her and her husband, have gone to #1 money earner in isogenics, bounces between #1 and 3. They've only been in the company 4 years, and they're crushing it. And she's going to share a little with you about her journey. But a big, big part of that is casting a vision, not only for herself, but for her team. And it's their buy-in and their belief in what's possible that her team members end up linking arms. And you know what? They've become an unstoppable force. And what's so beautiful about this amazing woman's journey is she's managed to bring her sister along with her. And her sister's equally having spectacular success. So it isn't just about Tanya, it's literally about the team. And that's what I really love about her. So it's my absolute privilege to welcome to the call this evening 14-star platinum, 14-star executive, none other than Tanya Kirkpatrick. How are you doing, Tanya?
I'm good. Hi, thank you so much. I feel honored to be on the call tonight. Thanks for having me, Warren.
And see, guys, the first thing is the fact that she's got a whole team coming along with her. It's not just her, it's a whole team, and that's what I believe we can do with FSI. No doubt about that. But if you look at this, I found this on Facebook, and she's a 14-star platinum in the top 3 income earners, but she's got a family of 4 kids, right, and a husband. And just on her Facebook page, it says, Job's #1, wife, mum, passionate about serving people. So gives you a little idea of where she's at, where she's coming from. And she's only been in isogenics 4 years. Now, guys, think about this. Isogenics started in 2002, right? So nearly 16 years ago. So Tanya joined 11 to 12 years after isogenics started in the US. She wasn't ground floor opportunity. She got in 11 to 12 years after isogenics started in the US. 11 to 12 years after it had started, there were already many isogenics millionaires at that time. And so many people out there had already been able to prove that it worked. She could look at their successes. And when you compare that here with Australia, well, here isogenics started in Australia in 2007, nearly 11 years ago. So it hit me the other day. I'm thinking we're at exactly the same phase today Even if we all draw a line in the sand and say, okay, today's day one, and it is of your Isagenix future, but day one today is 11 years after it started here, the same as it was for Tanya when she got in 11 years after it started in the US. Already a lot of people become millionaires in both categories, and just absolutely fantastic. We got an unbelievable opportunity. And she lives in Gilbert, Arizona, right, which is right there near the Isagenix headquarters. And so I dare say there's probably people over there that had already heard about it but not fully understood it when she first got in. So that's exciting, guys. So we've got exactly the same opportunity here in Australia today as Tanya had when she joined Isagenix 11 years after it started in the US, because here it's only been going 11 years too. That's the first point.
It's always a treat. I mean, we were just down at MYKO, and I just felt blessed that Arlene and I hung out for a few extra days, and our families got together, and we played games in the evening after dinner. And it's just like, you know what, you're a real person. You and Jeremy are just a couple that have bought into this Isagenix vision, and you know what, you've rolled up your sleeves and really got to work. I mean, if I roll back the clock of time 4 years, and I mean 4 years, it's gone quick, my understanding is you were doing eyelash extensions for girlfriends in your home. And Jeremy was an equipment financer for the construction industry. Mm-hmm. So what got you into Isagenix in the first place?
That's really funny. Social media is a great thing, and I watched a girlfriend of mine. Prior to, Jeremy had lost his gallbladder, and a month later I had a surgery, and they re-put me back together after having 4 babies. And so I thought to myself, okay, my mom and my family on my mom's side really struggled with their weight. They're from the South, and so they like a lot of fried foods. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was paranoid that was going to be like me when I was getting older. And so after that surgery and the financial duress, because the economy had started to tank, Jeremy was really struggling with his digestive system. I reached out to a girlfriend, and I was like, you look amazing. And our kids grew up together. We knew each other for 10 plus years. I trusted her. And I knew she was totally out of her element. She was on the top of a mountain calling it her office, and she was glowing. She looked beautiful. And so I was like, let's go to lunch. So I went to lunch with her, and I was like, listen, I don't eat things out of a package. Thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate it. And I came home, and instead of buying a value pack, it was a President's Pack at the time is what it's called, I went and bought like a $500 juicer. And my husband was so upset with me, and I was like, but I got it on sale, and I used my 30% off coupon at Kohl's. And we like wasted more of the produce that we got for this juicer than, what we were really, and I wasn't having the results that my girlfriend was having. So I called her back, and I was like, listen, I'm skeptically going to get started. My husband didn't really know that I saved for 3 months. Like, this was a series. So I didn't say yes at the beginning. I need you guys to hear me say that. And I never came for the business. I came because I felt miserable, and I had put on 30 pounds, and I was like, I feel like I was just ballooning. And everybody that I laid on my table for eyelash extensions were talking about the same things. They couldn't sleep. They were like not feeling good. So I said, I am trying this, but you told me there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and I don't want your feelings to be hurt when I return it on day 29. Because I don't believe in things that come in packages. I just don't. And I think if you're going to be healthy, you should have, go to the store and shop around and get all the produce, and then, fix your dinners. And it's about what you can control.
So she wanted the physical results she saw on Facebook, right? It was a Facebook post that she saw from a friend that she knew from way back. She caught up with this lady, right, but didn't get involved initially. She said, I don't do packet food. Instead of buying a President's Pack, as it was back then, she went out and bought a $500 juicer instead. Right? She also mentioned they were under financial duress. They were under a bit of financial pressure. And so they did have a reason for building the business. And then she also mentioned that she had to save, when she did decide to get in, she had to save for 3 months to get a pack. Right? She had to save for 3 months to get a pack. I mean, I'm just glad that she was persistent enough to keep putting the money in the envelope and the drawer.
And so I got started, and on day 4, I slept all night long. And I have had so many networkers come and try to recruit me into their businesses, and I had sworn off network marketing. My sister's beautiful. She has had almost 20 years in the network marketing, and I worked with her for a year. I actually have a picture I'm going to post this week, and I have a big power post with it, because I don't look even remotely confident in this picture. And I respect my sister. My mom introduced us to network marketing because she was a part of a makeup company when I was growing up. And we were on a tour of corporate one day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I got all teary-eyed. I'm like, Mom is the one who introduced us to network marketing. She showed us what that was. And I had been in the top of another company. I earned this really great cruise, and they were like, yeah, you can go, but your husband can't. And I was like, you're kidding me. And I was 8 months pregnant, and I wasn't going by myself. So that was like, whatever. And then I sold candles for basically cash out of my house. It bridged the gap for us in an economy time. I went and got my eyelashes done, and I thought I could do this. So I taught myself how to apply eyelashes, the false eyelashes, because I'm gritty. Like, I'll figure it out. And we were like not going to be able to make our house payment. So I get started. Day 4, I sleep. I look at my husband. He's like, I want you to order me my own pack. And I was like, then you got to save in your underwear drawer in an envelope like I did. And he started laughing. He's like, no, Tanya, I'm miserable. I want my own pack. I want the vitamins. And I remember looking over at my shoulder at him, because I know who I am and I know what I'm made out of. And I think that a lot of people really kind of wobble, and they're not really quite sure. They're still kind of trying to find their footing. And I looked at him and I said, I will be an Isogenics millionaire, because my girlfriend did 2 things. She cast, I said, how much are you making right now? She's like, I'm cycling 17 times. That's almost $1,000. I was busting my butt for 40 hours plus doing eyelash extensions, and I was barely making $1,000 cash. And I hurt, like the back of my head hurt, my fingers hurt. And I thought to myself, I can do it. If she can do it, I can do it. And so that was the first time that I really could like vision cast, but I forward spoke where we were going, and he knows me, and he knows that I'm gritty. And he was like, oh man, he goes, Tanya, don't talk to our friends or family. I don't want to be those kind of people. So that's how we got started.
Wow.
You got to love that story. Right, so she had a great response on the product. I think everybody on the calls probably had a great response on the product. Right, and a friend was doing 17 cycles a week, about $1,000 a week at that point. But what she thought was, if she can do it, I can do it. And truly, guys, this is why it's so important to get along to the seminars, etc., because that's where you'll see people going across stage, and you're going to, in the end, it seeps in. You realise, man, if they can do it, I can do it. Watching these videos, if she can do it, I can do it. Then she goes on to say, I'm gritty. I will figure it out. And you've got to have some guts. You've got to have a bit of persistence. You've got to be able to hang in there. But she knew she had those skills. She knew she had that persistence. I'm gritty. I'll figure it out. It was not another network when she joined. She had been years ago when she was pregnant. Didn't say which one, but it's, even if it was the last one, it was a long while ago. So it's not as if she brought a team with her. And she also mentioned in that part that she was also, again, worried about not being able to make a house payment. So they had a reason for building the business. And what did she say? She spoke it into existence. She spoke about the future. She said, I will be an Isogenics millionaire. And that was before that even started. But she was casting the vision for herself initially, from the vision she'd been shown by her friend.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And it was that profound of results after 4 days that Jeremy literally wanted what you had.
Yes, and he is the biggest skeptic. He was a skeptic from the beginning for the products, And then big time for the opportunity. He was like, this is another one of those somethings.
Got it. Well, let me tell you, you spoke into existence that you would become an Isogenics millionaire, and you certainly have multiple times over, which I just want to say a massive congratulations.
Thank you.
Again, you've that casting of a vision that your friend did, the fact that 17 cycles was almost $1,000 to do it, you can do it. Why is it so important to like cast a vision for your team member? Because in essence, she casted that vision for you, and I see you. You're constantly casting the vision. Now, so let's just I'll let you answer that, because I have something else I want to ask.
My dad was a fisherman, Warren, and he always taught me it's not what you can see on the top of the water when you cast out your fishing pole. It's what's going on underneath it. And so you're waiting for that bite so you can set your hook. And I feel like it's very much similar in giving that visual for vision casting, because that day I could really grab a hold of this thought of if she could do it, I could do it. And I knew that everybody in this world is looking for both more time and more money. I don't care who you are. So many people are like, oh, I'm not going to approach this person because, they're financially set. But what they don't understand is that they're dying inside because they're miserable. They are so strapped for time, and they're feeling on fumes. So I never prejudge anybody physically or financially.
So she said Jeremy was a skeptic, right? And a lot of people out there are skeptical partners to start with. And sometimes we're skeptical ourselves even when we get in. But why is it important to cast a vision? Because she said everybody in this world is looking for more time and more money. I mean, that is beautiful. That's one of the basic thoughts we've got in the whole Team FSI, is that everybody wants what we've got. They want more time and more money. They also want better health. But what she's talking about here is mainly more time and more money, because a lot of people are quite happy with their health situation at the moment. And so we can help people in all areas, guys. It's not just the health. We can help them with more time and more money. And she covers this. When you listen to the rest of her talk, she covers this point again and again and again. It's not just about getting fitter and healthier and losing weight. She hardly ever mentions that.
I say I stand for two things. This is my fuel, God and people. And I really feel that if you can connect someone's head to their heart, and you find out what it is for them, because at the time, yes, we were in financial duress because of the economy, and my husband was directly connected to that with equipment financing. He was so well respected in his industry. In the downturn of the economy, they came looking for him. And I remember looking at him. There's a couple of things, Warren. I forward speak where people are going. My sister is like, she could have come in all ego and pride. She's older than I am. She has more experience than I did. And she said, she like hung on everything I said. And she goes, everything you said, you would cast that next little thing that was going to happen. And it totally did. And I said, yeah. But the thing about it is you rolled your sleeves up and you were gritty and you got to work, because that's how we were raised. And so being able to do that for other people, I say to them, what's going to make an epic impact in your financial blueprint today?
Connect the head with the heart, right? And I mean, on our Team FSI website, you got Jackson Parr does a great session on that. And also, I forward speak where people are going. So she speaks about where they're going. She paints a vision for them. And then the question she asks is, what is going to make an epic impact on your financial blueprint today? What is going to make an epic impact on your financial blueprint today? And it'd be a good idea to answer that. And then she points out the fact that her sister, although she'd been involved with other networks and was older and all this sort of stuff, but she rolled her sleeves up and got to work. She said she's gritty, she's persistent. She got to work. Work. It keeps coming back again and again. We got to do something.
Even this couple that I helped get started the other day. And so casting the vision for her and her husband were able to get started. She goes, listen, I'm not interested in sharing. And I said, hey, I said the same thing, but I'm obligated to show you what's at your fingertips. And I'm like, yeah, because everybody eats. It's really that simple.
Guys, I love that. Right? I'm not interested in sharing, this woman said. And she said, I felt the same thing, but I'm obligated to show you what's at your fingertips. Everybody eats. It really is just that simple. I mean, this is just mind-blowing. She's out there. I mean, we've heard Jimmy Smith said, you know, in this business you can eat your overheads. But here she's got it as a recurring theme. She's got it as a recurring theme. And we talk about the fact that in our presentations that it's transfer spending, that it's food. But she said everybody eats. It really is that simple. Listen again.
But I'm obligated to show you what's at your fingertips. And I'm like, yeah, because everybody eats. It's really that simple.
I'm obligated to show you what's at your fingertips. Everybody eats. It's really that simple. And see, in our 48-minute video, guys, they get the whole lot. They get the whole picture. Click and play. Pause it a few times. They got the whole thing. But this is what she's doing. I was even talking about the fact that it's food and that anybody can do it. Absolutely anybody can build a business. This is from our presentation. It doesn't matter how much money people are getting each week. They're all buying food. Right? We've got some of the best food on the planet. She talks about that. Right? We go here and we got examples. The fact that it's transfer spending. 48 meals, $195, $6.50 a day, transfer spending. I mean, I was just so excited to see this, and particularly to see it on the video, where, anyway, you'll see it in a minute. You'll see it. Absolutely anybody can build a business. Unemployed New Start allowance recipients, right? Pensioners, low-income earners. Why? Everybody can do it because they are all buying food, and that's a recurring theme for her in this presentation. It's food, it's groceries, everybody's buying groceries, everybody's still eating, everybody can do it. The opportunity is unbelievable. And she's gone from 0 to 2 million a year in 4 years using this technique. That's what she's done. That's just a fact.
So even if I'm talking to you, I'm only interested in the products, you're still going to ask me that.
I'm still going to ask you. Okay, could you really, I mean, even for us when we weren't earning, like, you know, we were cycling, I was earning like 3 to 5 cycles. My thought process was I was never staying there because there is everybody that eats. Our world is full of tons and tons of people. We're looking for both more time and both money. That's my belief. That's my posture. And I don't care if you're a 7-figure income earner. I guarantee you that if I could show you a way to give you more time in your day, that's going to be valuable to you. And then my guess is if you're a 7-figure income earner, you're going to be open to other business opportunities. Why not? Why? When people get in the way of themselves, they're robbing. It's like they're holding this gift behind their back, and they're not saying, let me unwrap all that you have at your fingertips. Because everybody goes grocery shopping. Like my little grocery cart, isn't he cute?
Oh, that's beautiful.
I'm like, it's such a great visual. And then everybody has to pay bills. Like it goes one hand in hand. And I think the more difficult that we make it, the more uneven ground that we stand on.
Don't you just love a shopping cart? Right? Share the opportunity with everyone, she said. People want more time and money. Everybody wants both time and money. Everybody goes shopping. Everybody has bills to pay. It's a classic. It's a ripper.
The thing that I said to Trudy that really got her thinking when we met, because she was successful. She was successful in her network marketing career. She was successful in her own business that she owned. She was successful doing a TV segment. And I said to her, do you have to be present when you earn that, though? Because I earn money when I sleep. Because that's when our cycles pay out. You know, you go to bed at night and you wake up in the morning and you have all these cycles that have been paid out. And when I talk about cycles, you have to think about, when you're talking to people, I think about talking to a kindergartner because our mind works in bite-sized chunks. So I'm like, this is a cycle. You have, you know, these people are over here grocery shopping. Every time you get 600 business volume over here, and these people are grocery shopping, every time you get 300 business volume here, it collides together and shoots out to you $54. And they're like, I go, how often do you go grocery shopping? Well, how often do your friends go grocery shopping? Because every time they go grocery shopping, you have an opportunity to earn referral backs. And you have the opportunity to, you know, earn a percentage. Who wouldn't want that?
You got to love it. And do you have to be present to make money? What a question. Well, just about everybody's going to say yes. She says, well, I earn money while I sleep. And when talking to a person, I think of talking to a kid going to kindergarten. She said, you've got to put it in terminology that the kindergartners can understand. If they can understand, everybody will get it. And a cycle. Well, you got these people over here grocery shopping, and these people over here grocery shopping. And when you got 600 points on one side and 300 points on the other, they collide and poke out, in our case, $60 Australian. And every time they go shopping, you have a chance to earn a referral back, a percentage on what they purchase. She's talking about grocery shopping. I love it. And, you know, in our presentation, we've got examples like this, where people buying these sort of packages, and if they were to do that and you had two people get in and then they introduced another two, that all happened within 60 days, it'd be $500 back. That'd be more than you would have spent in 2 months. As part of the presentation. We've got other examples in there about the product introductory bonuses. Right? We've got other examples in there about what happens if you teach, they teach, repeat. And it goes down in depth. The geometric progression. This is going to help those guys that are already making big money see how they can make a few $100,000 a year with everybody just getting a handful. But when you're talking about everybody needs both time and money, financial freedom, we can be talking about the grocery shopping, the transfer income. That's why I'm just so excited when I saw this.
I've never had a job where people are like, Tanya, you changed my life. You don't understand. I thought I was going to, have to struggle the rest of my life. Like, sign me up for that job all day long, because I love those texts. And I love being able to help, other leaders really see what they're gifted at. Instead of all the things that they're not, I help them vision and see what they're clearly good at.
She loves helping people change their life. I mean, to be honest, that's one of the things that I've realized that fires me up more than anything. And, being forced lately to go back, some of these books I've been reading and processes we've been doing, is looking back, what was I like when I first got involved with this industry way back 32 years ago? The love, the passion was helping people change, helping them grow to their full potential. And she says, I love helping leaders see what they're clearly good at and helping them see a bigger picture. Just fits in so well with where I was at. It's just so exciting.
I would say to you, Warren, that it is important to bite-sized chunk. It's, can I help you get your products paid for? What if we could do your products and a car payment? Would that be of value to you? What if we could do your products, a car payment, and a house payment? Would that take some stress off of you and your husband in any way? All right, your eyes are lighting up. What if you could earn an extraordinary income with this opportunity? Because let me tell you, everybody eats. And we have some of the best of the best.
Right, it's important to break the goal down into bite-sized chunks, she says. Get your products paid for, maybe make your car payment, house payment. What about all three? Would that take some stress off? And what if you could earn an extraordinary income with this product? Because let me tell you, everybody eats. And we have the best of the best. There's no doubt about that. And so we cover all of that in our presentation just by clicking play.
Intermittent fasting has been around for years and years and years. Would you like to hear more about it? Because you're setting yourself up for success not only today, but tomorrow and the next day. So in the next 30 days, what's your biggest goal? Okay, you want weight wellness, so you want to shed like 15 pounds. Awesome. Oh, you'd like to pay for your next month's groceries. Let's go. I'm going to show you how to do it. I show everybody the you share, they share, repeat. And it's funny because when we would open a value pack, because that is what I work in, I'm so fired up that Isogenics is really shining the light on this pack because it's the highest retention and it gives you the most pleasurable experience cleansing. And, all these snacking options, you got your nutritional insurance with the vitamins. And so, you write it out. I mean, I wrote it out on the flap of the cardboard box. It doesn't have to be fancy. Those of us who really go to work to make it hard, you're going to find that's hard. When you go to work and just have like a regular conversation with someone because you're definitely all about serving them, it's not so hard. But you do have to have the conversation. And I find that so many people are like, oh my gosh, I just don't know what they're going to think of me. I'm like, what if you could have broke them free? Physically, broke them free financially? Would you really care what they thought? Because I think you're going to be loving the texts that you get. They're like, thank you for changing my life. And don't you ever give someone the steering wheel that's going to drive you in the direction that you don't want to go. Like, you get to decide. I'll have people come to me all the time, and I'm like, I can't control their people, places, or things, but I can control how I respond. And I get to decide what where I spend my energy. And I loved what Peta talked about in, the vision letter and writing that vision letter. And I love that she gave an example of it. This last week in Fast Track, I'm like, you guys need to take ownership of your vision letter. And they were like, we don't really understand. And I said, if I were writing a vision letter for myself this year, I would really look at things like, how do I want to make a shift? Well, I want to talk about how I so enjoyed going to pick up my son, once a week and take him to lunch. I'm cycling now more in my fourth center, because we don't have that yet. I'm cycling more in my fourth center than I ever dreamed possible in such a short amount of time. I love that I have found my true passion in serving others. I date my husband on a regular basis because Jeremy and I really want to date and really lean into that. You have to flex your physical, your spiritual, your mental, your emotional, your work space muscle. And there's no such thing as balance. So, really being really clear on what you want. I did that the first year in Isogenics, and I hit every single one of them. So Jay and I are going to sit down and write our individual ones, and then we're going to write our one as a family. So that's what they did in Fast Track. So I think having a vision board, having a vision letter, and what was the other one I was going to say?
What you need right now.
Yeah, what you need right now. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, and a year. That's what we talk about. So 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, and 1 year. Because that's 5. And people can normally give you 5. Where do you see yourself?
So what details, when you're breaking that down, since we're talking about what you need right now, are you having them put 30 days, how many times they want to be cycling, 60, 90? Or what are you referring to? Are you referring to pay there?
So you can put it in physical or financial. And for every single person that we help get started, I'm like, you know what? Because I just talked to a guy, he works 2 weeks on an oil rig and 2 weeks off. That oil rig is on the East Coast, and he lives here in Arizona with us. And so I said to him, ultimately, what's your ultimate goal financially? Do you love what you do? You want to work on an oil rig forever? And he's like, no, I don't. I want to be home with my family. And I said to him, what is that dollar figure per year? He's like, 80 grand. And I go, all right. So we got out the calculator, and I took the $80,000 and I divided it by a cycle. And I was like, you need to be cycling 28 times a week. And I got to tell you, that's a drop in the bucket if you're willing to talk thousands of conversations and really help a ton of people open Freedom Wholesale accounts with this company. He's like, I can do this. I said, you're going to have to borrow my belief, because he wanted to piecemeal everything out in the catalog. So you have to borrow my belief when it comes to this, because you're not going to understand it until you actually are in motion doing it.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, a vision letter, right? And, one other thing about that, you could do the vision letter, or you can go through and fill in our goal setting and coaching program. And we've been doing that with a lot of people over the last few seminars we've done. And that helps people to work out their broad inspirational vision of the future, sense of discontent with the present, and so on. And it goes through and it breaks it back down into bite-sized steps as well. Then she says, be very clear on what you want, right? 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, and a year. Right, and so as I say, I was just so excited to see that. There's different ways of doing it, but the main thing is you've got to come up with a broad, inspirational vision of the future. You've got to set some goals. And I love the terminology she used too. She said, open a Freedom Wholesale account with this company. Freedom Wholesale account. What a great term. And then she's saying to the guy who's working on the oil rig or whatever, but you're going to have to borrow my belief initially because you're not going to understand it until you are in motion doing it. I mean, initially you have just got to run a little bit on faith, right? You can see that other people have done it. You know, there's a whole heap, but tens of thousands of people making money each week. But you can say to people, you're going to have to run a little bit on belief, on my belief to start with, and the fact that so many others have done it until you get into motion.
And I won't let you start with anything else other than a value pack, because if you're coming to me for both the product, the physical freedom, and the financial freedom, what I start you out with is what you will confidently start other people out with. It just is. So if you're coming to me for both of that, I need you to hear me the reason why. You need to cleanse. You need to experience what that's like, because then you will feel confident and you will feel congruent when you're talking to other people to help get them set up. And he was like, okay, I'm tracking. And I said, even if you don't get it now, borrow my belief, see the track record, and let's go. And at the end of the day, you've got 30 days to prove me wrong. You've got 30 days. You can return the entire pack. And I love hearing that, you know, returns are like real slim in Isogenics because people have the best of the best experience. They're not sending it back. It's like gold.
And so there's no doubt the value pack or whatever it is now called, the big one, is great value. No doubt about that. But I think one of the things here in Australia, because we've had so many people say that's the only way you can get in, there's a lot of people, as soon as you mention the word isogenics to them, they think it's going to be $600-700 to get started. And it's not necessarily. And for that, and Tanya was a good example. She couldn't start on that. Not initially. She had to save up for 3 months. And we're all just lucky that she did the saving. But I believe there'd be a lot of people out there that wouldn't save for the 3 months like she did. Whereas if we can get them in on whatever pack or whatever product they can afford to start with, then we can educate them about the whole thing. There was a lot of us that only started off with a handful of products. A lot of us, in fact, we go back far enough, just one. And away we go from there. But it is important to understand what I start you out with is what you will confidently start other people on. There's no doubt about that. That's standard networking 101.
I mean, that's really powerful. I love how you dig in. And you touched on, so the 3 key things about this vision casting. You like to have people do a vision board, right? And we've heard about that where you're actually putting images. It may be a holiday images of Fiji, or it may be surfing pictures. It could be whatever moves you.
And I have to say this really fast. Rachel Thomas at our first fast track said she was going to be barefoot in Bali, and that's where she was last year. She was barefoot in Bali. And she said, Tanya, I put that on my first vision board in your house at the fast track. And I'm like, I know. And she got to go do it. So it was really cool. And so, sorry, I interrupted. But the third one is having that visual, because I told them, when you open your account, they're opening it this week, you need to have a sticky, whatever color you want. Mine were pink because I love the color. And I put 100 cycles everywhere. In my underwear drawer, on my vanity, where I drove, by where I do dishes. You have to have that physical, I mean, like you could put it on the back of your phone.
Okay, so with that guy, let's reference that guy that goes 2 weeks out working on the oil rigs. What would you have him putting on a sticky? So you've had him cast the vision. He needs to get to 28 cycles a week. Is it 28 cycles all over the place?
Yes.
That's the number. So basically when you're vision casting, when you're working with your team members, you're sort of taking their 12-month goal, not the 30, 60, 90 or 6 months. It's the 12-month goal, whatever those cycles are, and they're posted everywhere, in the bathroom, in the kitchen. Let the world see it. Yeah,
on the back of the potty, like they're everywhere. Lindsay Wynea did this. She's #1 in the president's class. She was, I think, #1 2 years running. Like, she's an amazing leader, and she's gritty, and she rolls her sleeves up. And I was like, what's where's your cycle? And she's like, this is brilliant. And then she's doing it, and her whole team is starting to do it. She like holds them accountable. Their goals become her goals. And I love that. You can never, and I always tell people, listen, I can never want your physical goal or your financial goal more than you. So I'll help you along the way, but you got to want it. You've got to want it, and there are going to be days that you don't feel like doing it because it's not sexy getting up and doing the same minutia all the time. It's not. And if people are like chasing like that high of something different all the time, maybe this isn't for you, because it is helping people over and over and over again. And I just like to tell them that up front and manage like what their thought process is, because when you like make it something it isn't, then all of a sudden people are like, this is hard. Oh my gosh, this person like really hurt my feelings. And you allow people to downshift your dream. And I want them to know up front, you have to take ownership of it. I can cast as many visions as I want for you, but until you put action behind it, it's just going to be this dream, this vision that's out there. You have to do the work to get there.
Okay, so what she was using was sticky notes, right? And that's a good thing. I mean, just so you understand, I got stuff pinned up here on my desk in front of me. Right? There's some of my affirmations. I got them pinned up here on the desk, as well as a pile of them in a card. I've also got those same affirmations on my phone in the note section. So I can read them on my phone, I can read them on the cards, or I can just glance here at some of them on my desk. Right? And a vision board. Right? She talks about a vision board. We got one of those pinned up in the bedroom. Right? And then a vision letter. And you can either write the vision letter, or, you know, lately a lot of us have gone through and filled in the goal setting and the coaching program. Answer all the questions in them, and it ends up having the same effect as a vision letter. And then read your goal statement daily. I mean, this is what we've been learning about from Napoleon Hill. You got to read it out. You got to speak it out. Put it in emotional terms. It all fits in. Sometimes it's not the money, but it is what you can do with the money, she says. And then she makes this point again. You got to do it. It's not just a matter of thinking about it. It's not just a matter of fantasizing about it. You got to do it. And there are going to be days when you don't feel like getting up and doing it. You just got to do it to get your goal anyway. Right? I mean, I love it. She's gritty. It's fantastic. Decide what you want. Decide the prize, right? Look at any obstacles that are holding you up. Plan to overcome the obstacles, then go and do it. And she keeps saying, just get out of bed and go and do it. And she says, we're helping people over and over and over again. And see, and this is the thing, you know, she's making this point, and this is how I've found it in 32 years of networking. There's only a certain few basics. There's only a certain few things you've got to teach. And I think one of the things that's happened now with the internet is you can just get overwhelmed. There's always more stuff you can be looking at. But in actual fact, there's only a few steps you've got to teach, and then it's going to be a matter of teaching that over and over and over again. And you have to do the work to get there. I mean, that's what she said. But it's fantastic, guys. It's very simple, but you have got to do it. It's based on helping other people.
But what other company, Warren, could you work your tail off and get paid infinitely, and they don't cut off any of that? Like, you just get another center, and then you get another center, and then you get another. I've heard leaders be like, oh my gosh, when I get my reentry, it's so hard. And I'm like, why is it so hard? Or have you gone up and touched the bar of that financial greatness? It scared the crap out of you, and so you like don't touch it again. So it's not hard. It's not hard unless you make it hard. Because last time I checked, people still go grocery shopping all the time.
I love you. That is so beautiful. So,
how good is that, eh? Infinite income potential. And it's not hard unless you make it hard, because the last time I checked, people still go grocery shopping all the time. See, guys, this is the mind game we're in. I've been saying that all along. And we've got some great tools that we've come across lately and rediscovered that can help you with that mindset. Right? We can help you to look at and understand how simple this really is. Right? It's so exciting. It's not hard unless you make it hard in your mind, because the last time I checked, people are still going grocery shopping all the time. Gotta love it.
Okay, so we have the vision board. We have what do you need like right now, and sort of like that 60, 90, 6 month and 1 year goal, and the stickies are all over the place. Got it. You also spoke about a vision letter. You referenced Peter Kelly. Some people don't know what you're talking about. Real briefly, what does that look like? If we're working with 10 individuals right now, just speak into what you would have them do for their vision letter.
So when I first got started, I listened to Susan's podcast all the time, and she talked about this vision letter that she wrote, and she wrote her goals down as though she'd already achieved them. She talked about going to Italy and what she saw, the smells of the food, what it tasted like, who was with her, what it sounded like, and how she felt so fulfilled because she knew she had worked really hard to achieve this goal. And I thought to myself, it was almost like she was writing a diary entry after she had already gone and done it. So when people ask me what's a vision letter, I'm like, it's like a love letter to yourself, like an expression of what you already, like if you could dream it up in your head, the vision is your senses. So, taste, you see it, you touch it, you smell it, you hear it, all of these things. If you can write that in a vision letter where it becomes so tangible, it connects your head and your heart. You've already seen it. You've now seen it over and over in your head. And it's not just writing it and doing it that one time. It's reading it almost daily. I did this. For Jeremy and I, and you get to a point where you're like, man, I kind of feel guilty. Like, what else do we need? Well, I'd love to pay off the house that we bought my mom. So, in my vision letter this year, it's going to say, how cool is that? My sister and I were able to help buy my mom a house. Like, that's cool. So, like, being able to put in there, so excited, worked really and aligned with my sister on so many areas, paid my mom's house off. Like, that fires me up. So you have to think about, when you're talking to people too, it's not always like about them, because sometimes it's not money for people. It's just not. It's what they can do with the money. And that really fires me up. We had a team member that her dentures broke, the top of her dentures broke right down the middle. And she was crying. She didn't want to come to one of the events because she had to super glue her dentures. And I looked at Jeremy, he was sitting next to me in the office, and I was like, babe, I asked her how much their teeth were. She was short like $550. Can we buy the dentures? Because I can't imagine not having teeth. And we were in a place where we could have the conversation if we were going to buy our teeth. And our oldest daughter, Bailey, was like, Mom, that was like a defining moment. You helped buy someone teeth. Like, that's a big deal. It's not like a Louis Vuitton bag. You helped someone buy teeth. Like, that's so cool as your kid to see that. So you have to meet people where they are and figure out, is it helping somebody else out? Is it going and serving physically there? We go as a team and do Feed My Starving Children. We're doing all sorts of service projects around here. And that really drives a lot of people. Sometimes it's not money, but it's what they can do with the money. So make sure you're asking the question and then helping them cast that vision.
You're going to write out your goals, guys. That's the bottom line. And as I say, we've just spent a whole heap of time doing that with our goal setting and coaching workshops. And, and sometimes that goals can be just to be making a certain amount of money. Right? And I understand that, because initially when I got into networking, that was my goal, was to replace what I'd made as a veterinarian. I thought that'd be magic. It was just the money. Ongoing residual income, not tied to anything, don't have to be there. And, it was only after we got it up there, we started looking at this other stuff. But so if there's some of you out there and your goal is to have a large ongoing passive income, that's okay too. Right? And then the main thing is to read your goals daily, right? Read your goals daily. She just mentioned it again, but that's what Napoleon Hill's been telling us. And it's all there. Everybody says the same thing, to be honest.
And the stickies, if you have someone that's like, so this gentleman, right, he needs to earn it fast. But if you have someone, you put 5 cycles on it. You put 5 cycles on the sticky. They do it, and then they take the stickies out, and then they put 15 cycles on it, right? So you stair step them. But if I have somebody who's like, no, like, this is my massive goal, I'm like, all right, are you ready? Because it's going to take you some time and a lot of conversations and serving a lot of people to get there. So bite-sized chunk it out. I wouldn't always put like 28 cycles, bam, when someone first starts. Normally it's like 5, you get to 15, and then you kind of go from there.
I think the stair-step goals that she's talking about here is a very good way to do it, right? 5 cycles to start with, then 10, then 15, then 20 or whatever. You work it out. But to stair-step the whole thing. And instead of just having one massive goal up there, that gives you something else to shoot at. And so you can have your broad inspirational vision of the future, but then you're looking at these little steps you're going to do along the way to get there.
So many people don't even know how they get paid in Isogenics. It kind of boggles Jeremy and I. We're like, what? So I wrote it out. This is what you get paid at 1-star, per year. And these are the cycles. This is what you get paid for 2-star. Here's the cycles, and then this is your pay. And I underlined where we were, but I said, but we're not stopping here. I remember in my kitchen saying, but we're not stopping here because this compensation plan is so generous. And I would take that sheet and I walked it upstairs and put it in my bedroom because I didn't want to ruin it. So I could use it over and over for trainings because it took me a while to write it out. I had no idea that I had vision cast for not only myself but Jeremy, because we went to bed every night staring at all those cycles and all the financial opportunity that you could do with it. And so I posted it and said, I didn't even realize when we were staring at it the whole time, if that's what it is for you, you have to understand, even if money is not your driver, you got to see it and you got to understand it, break it down.
And guys, it's so important that you understand the compensation plan. I mean, it's just absolutely, I've been dumbfounded in this past week at the number of people that still don't understand the plan. And some of it I would have thought was fairly basic. But it's all there on the teamfsi.net website. And including this sheet that she was just talking about that she drew up, showing the different stars. And this is all there in that compensation plan at a glance document. But on teamfsi.net, under the compensation plan, you can watch the videos. You can download a 4-page compensation plan at a glance. And that includes this. It'll give you an idea of what you've got in your hands. And it's so important to understand how the money's made. It's so important. Because otherwise you can make some mistakes with your placement of your people. But so important to understand how the money's made.
When you're at a launch party or a sip and sample or whatever title someone chooses to give it, because people do it a little differently, but when you're at a launch party and you have a group of women and guys over, how do you typically cast the vision of what's available? I'm sure you're going to talk a little bit, but just let us hear your words. Imagine we have a house of 12 or 14 people, and you're now going to sort of cast the vision of what's available to link arms with us.
I do that when I answer the door. Every person that comes into my house, I hug them. They go to put their hand out and I'm like, I'm a hugger, bring it in. And sometimes you get people that are super stiff and they're like, oh my gosh. I'm like, hey, welcome to our house. We're so excited to have you here. Go in, you can get a bottle of water, make yourself comfortable. We have music playing. When I start, I say, listen, I want you guys to know we are real people. Welcome to our house. When was the last time you went grocery shopping? And when you referred someone to that grocery store, did you get an amazing bonus for it? How about your hair salon? How about a restaurant, a movie that you went to? And people are going to be like, no. I'll tell them, I helped someone, my carpet cleaning, I referred over $80,000 worth of business to him in 1 year. He never came back and said, hey man, let me clean your carpets for free. Thank you so much for $80,000 worth of referrals. So if I could show you a way tonight to really open your minds that everybody eats and that we are an amazing company because we're direct to consumer. We took out all the minutia and the middleman because we know that you're going to really love these amazing products. And we also understand that, our friends and family love, know, and trust us, just like the person who brought you here today. So we're going to ask if you guys would all be willing to be open. Are you willing to be open? And they're going to be like, yeah, because you've now asked 3 enrolling questions and they're so used to being like, yeah. So you're like, are you going to be open? They're like, yeah. And they didn't even know what they said yes to, but they're so open because they've given you all those yeses. We talk about the stories. So we'll have people come up and share their story. Men, women, medical people, you name it. And then we'll talk about the 5 pillars of health. I love talking about Ionics and make everybody laugh all the time and be like, and because the men that are there that are like, I can't believe my wife took me here. They're my favorite. People are like, oh my gosh, this guy was freaking me out. He was in the back of the room. You could totally tell you didn't want to be there. And I'm like, what do you tell yourself in that moment? Do you tell yourself holy crap, that guy doesn't want to be here? Because I tell myself, I love people like you. I'm going to squeeze you and just you're going to get this. Because I've had it a million times, right? Where they're so hardcore and then they're the ones that need it the most. And I'm like, all you guys that have got your arms crossed and you're like, whatever, women, why did you bring me here? When your wife is chasing you around the bedroom and you want to know what's in this stuff, you give me a call back. I'll break down what's in the Ionics because it might have a little bit of an aphrodisiac in it. And they're like, oh my gosh. Like, it's really fun. Like, you have fun with it. And then when my sister joined in, she's like, Tanya, you should make shakes. And I was like, no. Because my belief was if you didn't really know like how good they were for you, you might not like really love how they tasted. She showed me how to make 3 amazing bomb recipes. So now we're in there. We're doing drawings. People are having so much fun. They're tasting the shakes. They're like, ooh, that was so good. Did you like that one? Oh, I want to try that bar. And now you've got like this vibe going. We tell them, thank you so much for coming to our house. We're going to be walking around the house because there's enrollment forms. We know people are so fired up to get started, and we can't wait to help come alongside and support them. We forward speak as though they've already opened their account, and you know we're in 98.9% will either open an account that night or within the next 2 weeks. And then they're asking, when are you going to have another one of those things? Because I want to bring my friends to it. And as, you know, top leaders in this company, we're still hosting these every month at our house. Every month. We're having one tomorrow night. And I have people that are like flying in and they're like, hey, I've got another aunt or someone. Are you still doing it? I'm like, bring them on. We say you have to bring a guest in order to come because our house is only so big. So like for the Isogenics groupies who love to come just because they love the community, God bless them and I love them dearly. But I want to have enough room for everybody who's, you know, building that opportunity as well. So we tell them, hey, wait for, you know, the next fun something. But this is like, you got to have someone to share Isogenics with to come. And that really, you'd be surprised. People are like, man, I got to find someone because I don't want to miss out.
And they will. And they will. Absolutely they will.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Now, for you talk about the 5 pillars. Do you hint at all at the launch party about the money?
Oh, yes. So at the end of that, I will, okay, so love that I don't have to know everything. And even though I love speaking, that's like a love of mine. I press play. I learned that a long time ago. So in order for our team to do these and have great success, they have to press play.
Okay, so just quickly recap. She's a happy hugger. Big welcome when they arrive. When was the last time you went shopping? Everybody eats. She's on that theme again. And then they're walking around with enrollment forms. And she said most people either open an account that night or within the next 2 weeks. Within the next 2 weeks. So sometimes you got to go back and follow them up. She still does them regularly. And what she says is for everybody in their team to be able to do it, I press play. I press play on the video. That's what she said.
Then we come in and I'm like, listen, who do you know? Because we do these once a month. Bring them back. And I think that really sets people up for success. And here's the other part of this too. You know, we talk about a community. Well, the teams have grown so big. My sister has her community. Nicole has her community. We've got Terry has her community. So you can't like take it personal. Like you're like, that's so awesome. If I can help you in any way, awesome. But you don't take it personal. And you hang out with the people that you choose to hang out with, and you know, hang with leaders, go have dinner, spend your together time then, but celebrate when they're like, I think I can do this. I'm going to do my own health and wellness event. One of the girls just bought a house, and she's like, Tanya, my husband and I were talking about it because they've been coming to ours for the last couple of months. And she's like, we think we're going to start our own. I'm like, right on. If there's anything I can help you. And I'm like, I'm going to buy them a tablecloth for like a housewarming, you know, present for Isogenics tablecloth so they can do their own. These leaders that get so like flustered because they're like, oh my gosh, they're going to go do their own and I'm going to be left behind. Get over it because that's what you want. Fly.
Yeah, who do you know? Who do you know, she asks, right? We do these regularly, bring them back next time. And truly, guys, we've seen all this happen, right? You get the regular meetings going, the people are excited. And initially, you know, you can have anybody there because it's also a training session for those people that are already in your group. I mean, I wouldn't put a specification on it at this point that you must have someone, a new person, to come along. Only worry about that when you can't fit them in your house anymore, right? And then she wants her people to start doing their own in-home meetings. And that's it. You want your own people to fly. You want them to be able to go and do it. That's the ultimate in duplication.
You just got me fired up to push the envelope, girl. I just absolutely love it.
Thank you.
Always a treat to hear your words, right? Opening that wholesale freedom account. It's just, and what I'd really encourage everyone to do is listen to this recording again, because and take notes. I mean, I've taken pages of notes here, and it's your languaging. It's no different than Herb Sapeda or Susan Sly or these other dynamic leaders. It's the languaging that makes all the difference, because we all have the same products. We all have the same compensation plan. I mean, it's all there, but the only difference is us, and it's what you choose to do with it. Tanya and Jeremy chose to roll up their sleeves, listen to the podcast. She said that over and over again, and practice it. You can fail forwards. It's okay. I mean,
okay, so he said, listen again and again and again. I agree with him. I've been doing that, right? Then learn the terminology, and it's the words that make a difference. And we've seen this before in other companies, right? Yeah, same compensation plan, same network, different methodology, different terminology, and completely different result. One team goes backwards, other team just fly. And I got no doubt that's what's going to happen here now. And she's leading the way as far as I'm concerned. It's just absolutely fantastic. I mean, we got unbelievable opportunity in our hands, guys.
Be honest, Tanya, have you fallen down and bumped your knees a few times?
Oh my gosh, yes. And we've had health and wellness events where I was like, oh man, that just did not go over. We did our fast track last week, and I did not feel good. I ended fast track a half hour early. I didn't even realize it. And I got in the car, and I was so hard on myself. I was like, oh, I should have said that, and we should have done this, and I should have given more time there. And at the end of the day, I did the best I could with how I felt in that moment. And you have to be just not, like, you can't beat yourself up about it. You have to get up, dust yourself off, and know that you get a chance to start over every, 24 hours. We get another chance to start over and start the day fresh. So it is what it is. I mean, my dad used to say that all the time. My sister and I joke about it now, because we would be like, it is what it is. And she's like, oh man, Dad is smiling down from heaven. And I'm like, yep. Our parents taught us how to be gritty and how to not let other people's opinions or failing forward define us. Because that's in those moments. I'm reading a book right now. I just read a book. We're doing it in fast track called The Power of Healthy Tension. And it meant so much to me to know that there's no island out here labeled here. There's greatness in knowing the polarities and asking yourself, what is the higher purpose? And so that's been something I've been able to teach. I love to soak in stuff, Warren, and then regurgitate it back out and teach it to other people. It fires me up. Learn how to be a teacher. If you know what's working, don't save it and tuck it away. Teach it. And you'll see your team just expand and grow and turn around and do the same.
Absolutely. Well, again, Tanya, thank you so much for your time this evening.
Yeah, she was awesome. But don't worry if you mess up, right? Just do your best. You get to start again every day, right? And it is what it is. Don't worry about it. It just is what it is. Just accept it and learn how to be a teacher. And she was talking about how when she learns something, she loves then to go and teach it. And that's where I'm at the moment. I've learned a lot in the last couple of weeks. And just can't wait to share it all with you, right? And this is part of it. And teach by using and promoting the Team FSI system. That's the easiest way for you to teach it. There's no doubt about that. But you've still got to learn it in the first place. Then you've got to learn how to promote it and teach it. But truly, guys, just quickly to rehash here, there's only 60,000 active associates in Australia. I mean, they nearly had that many in the Perth cricket ground last night, right? So that's less than 1% of the population is currently in isogenics. Everybody's eating food. They're all buying groceries. Everybody can do it. We're only just getting started. We haven't seen anything yet, right? All these clubs here, footy clubs, have got more members, active members, than what we've got in isogenics. We really are only just getting started, less than 1%, and everybody's buying groceries. Everybody can afford to do what we're doing. It's just a matter of helping them to get in, to see the big picture, cast the vision.